Hi everybody, welcome along to Trackside's Weigh In. Only half of the dynamic duo have made it this week. Paul Shaler, glad you could make it. A bit cranky though because another meeting gets called off because of the track. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening DA. Very disappointing, isn't it? That I think that's seven in 7 months now for abandoned meetings in New Zealand, so certainly something that we need to address and address quickly. Indeed.
All right, Butch is enjoying a week off. I think he's down golfing in Queenstown of all places. Ken Rutherford has made the run on side. Ken, good evening.
Nice to be here. The award-winning show, Weigh In. Great new studio here in Par now in Auckland.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Things are moving ahead at Trackside, DA.
Good Absolutely. Otago's misfortune, I guess, became Te Rapa's fortune on the weekend.
Yeah, of course, would have been up Te Rapa, no doubt about that. On course, we're actually slightly down on what we did last year, but great meeting, wasn't it, at Te Rapa. The rail was out a few metres, but they seem to be winning from all over the place. Every horse got a fair chance. The Guineas, always a good lead-up, isn't it, to the New Zealand Derby in a month or so's time, and I think this rendition of the Waikato Guineas was every bit of that.
Yep,
a lot of form to come out of the day.
Absolutely, and we look forward to reviewing that and all the feature races throughout the course of this hour. Look, if you'd like to get in contact with us, you can via social media. We're on facebook.com/weighinshow, at weighinshow on Twitter, and you can email us as well, weighin@nzracingboard.co.nz. Our first guest is Opie Bosson, who of course won the feature on Saturday, the Group 2 Darcy Brahma Waikato Guineas. I think your 7th stakes winner of the season. Congratulations.
Thanks, Daryl, and thanks for having me on the show.
Seemed to get a pretty good run in transit, didn't you?
Yeah, he's a type of horse, he jumps well and you can put him right there and he drops a bit straight away and relaxes, so you can do what you want on.
Didn't seem to go that quick, or was the pace relatively even?
It was a pretty even pace the whole way. Nothing was pulling too hard, and once a couple come around us down the back, they put a bit more speed into the race from about the half mile.
He's a true stayer, and he also definitely get the Derby trip, and well, he hasn't won under the mile yet, has he? He's won 4 from 5 now. I think 1600 and beyond is all his victories have come. Yeah,
he's the type of horse he's got a bit of gate speed, so you can plant him on the speed out of trouble, and he drops a bit and just keeps up that momentum the whole race.
The second and third also good runs. Kenny, you said, I mean, you said before that the track, no track bias, and it was the maiden they run third, and the second horse has won one race. Do you think they'll feature in the Derby? Do you think the form will be good out of that race?
I think the form will be good out of this race. I've got no doubt about that. Good run by Margin Trader. I thought Paul probably put on the pace a bit too close than normal. Normally it comes from a bit further back. I thought its run was really good from a Derby perspective. Also McQueen, I think there was a bit of a problem at the start, wasn't it? A couple were affected at the start of the race, but no, pretty keen on Margin Trader out of the race, along with obviously Mongolian Con. Prima, enormous, wasn't it? Giant Turtle. We'll see its odds in the tab fixed odds market for the Derby have been slashed. I think it's at 20 to 1 now. Being by Zabeel, he'd be some kind of chance too to front up over 2,400 metres, you'd think.
Opie, this bloke's first run for a little while. I know he trialled in the interim, but he'll take plenty of improvement out of this, won't he?
Yeah, he'll improve stacks with that race, and going into the Avondale Guineas, he'll improve more, and he'll be spot on for the Derby, especially the 2-4 will be right up his alley.
It's a big training performance, dear. Like, he's 7 weeks between runs, like you say, and he's first up over 2,000 metres. Like, that's a massive training feat for Murray and Andrew. Their team's just on fire, isn't it, at the moment?
Yep, sure is. You obviously want to stay with him because he's obviously given you a pretty good feel.
Yeah, he's going into a Derby. He's probably the best chance I've ever had going in, and just the way he relaxes, and 2-4 is going to be no problem for him.
You had the choice of Rockfast as well, did you? You had the choice of Rockfast or him, and you've chosen this horse?
Yeah, I got offered Rockfast, but trying to be loyal to Murray Baker's stable as well, and I think this horse would be an ideal Derby type.
You see him beating Bolt, Stock and Barrel? You think he's that good?
Oh, I think so at the distance anyway.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
All right, Mongolian Con taking out the Guineas for the Inner Mongolia Rider Horse Industry New Zealand Limited team, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later on. You touched on Ken McQueen just dipping at the start there. In fact, Sam was lucky to stay on.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? You can see out wide too from the left-hand side, the pink colours really stumbled badly. I think Georgie Simon picked it up spot on in his commentary, nose down, and look at that, some kind of horsemanship there. and stayed on. Of course, the chance of the horse severely affected on this particular occasion. Lightly raced, isn't it? But certainly looks a real Derby prospect, a live chance in the Derby, you think?
Yeah, you think he would. He seems to keep making the necessary improvement, doesn't he? And he hasn't drawn a barrier in a long time. If he draws a half decent gate and gets a good run in transit, he's a big chance. And he's going to the Avondale Guineas next, and then on to the Derby. Yeah.
Sectionally, he was pretty good last 634.16, and consensus was pretty good too. Sectionally, 34.04, thanks to formpro.co.nz. So, obviously, Mongolian Con, out of that's probably the one to follow.
I think Mongolian Con. I'll take McQueen and Margin Trader. They're the three for me out of the race. I can't have the second and third horse. I couldn't see them even being sighted in the Avondale Guineas or the Derby for that matter.
Yeah, Margin Trader for mine, along with the winner. I think Margin Trader's still there with a huge chance in the Derby. Interesting, we're talking to Stephen Hunt, I think, the tab bookie later on the show, and be interested to see what the odds are about Margin Trader, because I think he's the one for mine, DA, on the big race.
Might get some of yours. All right, let's talk about Victor Hugo, Opie. The blinkers went on this preparation, and gee, the penny seems to have really dropped with him. He's really progressive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a nice horse, but going to the start, he felt like a crab, and I wasn't that confident going down the back straight, and he didn't really come up underneath me till about the half mile.
He came out of the barriers like a crab too, didn't he? Like
the whole way.
His furlong was terrible.
The whole way down the back straight, I was in two minds whether
to pull him up or not. Yeah, I thought you were going to pull him up at one stage.
And then he warmed up from about the half mile, and once we straightened up, I had a heap of horse underneath me. It was just a matter of getting into the clear, and he finished on.
Give him a gun ride.
He's come from a mile back.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, she track played fair on Saturday, didn't it? Hey, Victor Hugo, but he is an up and comer, isn't he?
He must be a superstar to come from last at Tarapa. I know that.
He's got the ability there, and he's just improving it each run this time in.
It was a gun ride. Gun ride.
It was.
Thanks, Paul. No worries, I bag jockeys every week. I'll give you a rap. You don't say anything. He's coming along real good though, isn't he? He's fast net rock Goldie, 4-year-old now. He'll get further, 2,000 metres plus?
I think 2,000 metres would be his go. He's just the way the first half of the race anyway, it takes a while to warm up, and he's got to turn a foot when you want it.
And earlier in the day, Loko Blue, 3-year-old with Tim and Margaret Carter. What was your impression of him?
He's a nice horse. He's still a little bit new to the game. He wanted to pull a little bit and hang a little bit up the straight, but he'll progress on with it.
Okay, he holds a nom for the Derby, but this race being over 1,400 metres, it would be a fair old ask to get him to the Derby, I would have thought.
Yeah, he might run out a bit of time. At this stage, he might be better, but down the track a bit more.
He's owned in Hong Kong, DA. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't head up there now after that, banking enough prize money to get there. And I think Richard Yu owns him, and Chris McNabb used to do all the training for him before he took over Windsor Park. So obviously the Carters are now doing that job for him, and I would say he'd be up to Hong Kong now.
Show the World. No, I know you didn't ride him on Saturday, but you've won the other 4 races on him. He looks right on target for the Auckland Cup, doesn't he? That was a good effort on the weekend.
Yeah, he's a really nice horse. He's a real out-and-out stayer, and the 2 miles going to be ideal for him of the Auckland Cup.
He loves a good track, doesn't he? Loves a good track. He's hopeless on a wet track. He's won. He's won all his races on good tracks, and I thought he was really good. And I thought Guess What and Farm Boy were both good runs as well. Where they sit in the Auckland Cup, Kenny,
yeah.
What do you think?
When you mentioned Farm Boy, Paul, the first thing I thought he's a year away. I think we're talking about this time next year in terms of an Auckland Cup. I'd say, yeah, I think he's spot on. Be a great chance. Even maybe the 1.5 mile of a Wellington Cup perhaps next year, 2016. But certainly he's shown plenty, and he's run around Tarapa a few times the last 12 months. He's always a bit of a course favourite of specialist as Farm Boy at Tarapa. He's found the line as well, didn't he, as the winner show the world. So those are 2 points to take out of it. Guess What saw your next rung down, isn't he? Next rung
I thought he was pretty good, Guess What. He chased the tearaway leader, he dragged the field up to them, and he probably was entitled to Wilter in the run, but he was still strong on the line. I thought he was okay. He was okay.
Show the world though. I mean, first run since the City of Auckland Cup, was it? Show the world. I mean, he's just going to improve, isn't he?
He is.
No doubt about that. He's a real up and comer.
Matt Cameron, he's riding out of his skin, isn't he? Strong, aggressive. He's just he's riding super.
And the juggernaut, the Murray Baker, Andrew Forsman juggernaut, Paul, just continues on. I think 64 wins for the season now, and 10 of those at black type level. They're flying. Yeah,
4.7 strike rate. I tell you, of those 64 winners, Matt and Opie have ridden 21 each. They've ridden 42 between them of those 64 winners. Yeah,
Amazing.
it's a phenomenal statistic, and only 9 other jockeys share the remainder 22.
I was going to say no other rider can get on the Baker Forsman runners anyway.
Why would you put them on? Why would you put anyone else on? But it's phenomenal. Like Opie and Matt, they share a better strike rate with Murray Baker than the likes of Joe Moreira does with John Moore and Zach Purton with Casper Founds, and it's a massive juggernaut, isn't it?
Sure is. Opie, before you go, rides this weekend. I think Atlante is back. You're riding him in the sprint.
Yep, he trialled really well at Cambridge and felt really good. He goes pretty well fresh as well, so I'm looking forward to riding him.
How do you assess your chances up against the likes of Sacred Star, who was so impressive in the Telegraph?
Well, he was really impressive in the Telegraph. You can't take anything away from him, but going back to weight for age and 1400 metres, it could be a different story.
But if Atlante, it depends what Atlante turns up, doesn't it? Like if he's there mentally on his game, he's as good as anything we've got going around probably.
Yeah, he's probably, if not better than most of them, if he's on his game. But
he's a bit of a rogue, isn't he?
But if he doesn't turn up, he can put a shocker in.
Yeah, yeah.
And Surpass in the Herbie Dyke, I believe.
Yeah, he's my ride in that race, and he's looking towards going to the Auckland Cup. So he's been racing well, so I think he'll be in with a bit of a chance. And
Chamont, the filly, in the Sir Tristram.
Yeah, she ran well last time. She had to work a bit from the draw and got run off a little bit the last turn and still finish on well. So Murray tells me she's improved too. So I am looking forward to sitting on all of them.
Okay, and as far as the Derby is concerned, I suppose you stick with Mongolian Con, because now that Grillsy's off suspension, he won't be getting a chance, I'm sure.
No, I feel a bit sorry for Grillsy, but no, he's my ride now, so I'm really looking forward to the Derby.
I don't reckon you do it all.
Hey, well, thanks for coming in. Again, congratulations on the success over the weekend, and fingers crossed that you have a terrific Auckland Cup Carnival as well.
No, thanks for having me.
All right, Opie Bosson with us here on Weigh In. We're back with more in a moment.
After the break, former hoop Alex Forbes will join the panel to discuss the Inner Mongolia rider horse industry, which own Group 2 Waikato Guineas winner Mongolian Con.